Now that the year is coming to an end, I can go ahead and reflect and without a doubt say that this is the best year of training I've had in my entire life. Not only am I the absolute strongest I've ever been, I'm also the most muscular that I've ever been. But with all that being said, it's not like I didn't make any mistakes along the way. What's up everyone, David here. Got a new video for y'all today, but before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. Now, what is it? 2025. December specifically, that means that the year is coming to an end. 2026 is right around the corner, and right around now is when people start looking at what their New Year's resolution is going to be. They start looking at, well, what is it that they're trying to achieve? What is it that they're trying to change? And I know for many of you, what it is that you're trying to go into now is in the health and fitness realm. You're trying to improve your body composition, your strength, whether it be that you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, just get in shape, whatever it may be. You're looking into getting into fitness. You want to start working out. You want to start being healthier, and that's good. I hope you achieve your goals. For 2025, I've already been working out, and there's a lot of things that I did this past year that have really helped me, and I've seen significant amount of progress, but there was also some mistakes that I made along the way, and mainly because there were some new things that I was trying out, and I'm gonna go ahead and share them with you so that if you are someone who's new to working out and you're gonna pursue it in this upcoming new year, then I don't want y'all to make the same mistakes that I made. I want y'all to go ahead and actually approach the gym, approach fitness with the foundation of knowledge, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. If you avoid certain mistakes, you'll make progress a lot quicker. On the flip side, you can also go ahead and see what has worked well for me. Maybe you can apply it for you, and you never know, maybe it can work for you as well. So 2025, let's go ahead and start it from the beginning. And the reason why this came about is because, I recently just finished up my last week of training before I go ahead and compete for my first powerlifting meet. And this past week, this heavy PR week, the most amount of weight max that I can lift. I went ahead and started off with a squat, specifically 365, top set of 1, boom, nailed it. I spent this past training block working on pause bench presses specifically, not just touch and go, pause. Failed the 265 attempt, but oh well, it's still almost there. The strength is still definitely a lot higher than it was last year. And then just rounded things off with deadlifts with a huge 475 deadlift PR. Big win for me, especially considering that the deadlift is my favorite lift. But if I were to go back to January and just look at my camera roll and see the type of lifts that I was doing at that point, I went ahead and I just started the year with a 355 squat. And I could definitely tell, like, my form is a little different. It looks not bad, but a lot of changes have been made. The depth is not quite there the way it is now. If I go ahead and look at the bench press, I was still doing a little couple pauses here and there, but I was also relying a lot on elbow sleeves. The pause itself was not clean the way that it would be allowed in competition standards. It was like a little pause on the chest, and then right before I press up, there's a little more extra bounce. That wouldn't be acceptable. And then deadlifts, I was just doing a lot of reps. You could definitely see my back rounding a lot more than it should. You could definitely see my hips rising. So overall, the strength was there, but I decided to use this year to just go back to the basics, just really do a lot of reps, a lot of volume, spend a lot of time with just the big three: squat, bench, and deadlift, and just really prioritize strength. And not just strength, but just the way that I go about my training programs. One thing that people don't understand as well is that it's not just about working out. You also got to prioritize your recovery, and you also got to prioritize your nutrition. Especially if you're someone like me, a natural lifter, and especially on the smaller side, we got to constantly be eating calories to just gain weight. I'm not someone who gains muscle pretty quick. I'm a hard gainer, as I'm sure many of you are. So that's also a big change that I made this past year, is just the diet. And the changes that I made have really allowed me to not just feel stronger, but I could see it in the mirror. I could feel like I'm gaining the weight. I feel like I'm gaining the muscle, but I'm not gaining the extra fat. It's easy to bulk when we're just eating excessive amounts of calories. No, we want to bulk by gaining muscle, not fat. The recovery, there weren't too many weeks this year or this past year that I actually spent and just took it easy as a deload, as a rest. No, I think there was only 2 weeks this entire year where I actually didn't do any type of workout. One of which was recently because I got sick and I had no choice but not work out. And the other one because I was traveling for some work conferences But you know, that's besides the point. So I'm like, this new workout structure, it really did help out. So let's break it down for the 3 individual. What did I do as far as the workout structure? What did I do as far as the actual recovery? And what did I do for diet? I think the way that I started structuring my workouts was definitely a lot different this past year compared to what I've done in years prior. Before, Mondays were always leg day. Without a doubt, I always had to squat. I always had to train legs on Monday. Tuesday was always a push workout, so chest, triceps, and delts. Wednesday was always back, and I always did deadlifts specifically on back day. And then Thursday and Friday were kind of just a whatever day, whether it be an additional leg workout or just an additional general upper body workout. Either one of those. 5-day split, but the main emphasis were those first 3 days. Legs, push, pull. Nothing bad with that. But as I started just looking around at different structures or different ways to approach my workouts, I started realizing that I'm tired of injuring this part right here, my inner thighs, because I will train so hard on Mondays and legs, specifically through squats. My legs were still really sore by the time we got to Wednesday, which is my back workout, but I personally like doing deadlifts on my back days. Every time I will do a deadlift, because it is a lower body exercise, because you are using your legs, obviously, every time I will go down to reach the bar, especially I will go heavy, I always end up pulling something. I'm going into heavy deadlifts with already sore legs, especially my inner thighs. I always end up straining it, pulling it. So I'm like, you know what? I need to change things up, because I'm tired of getting this injury, and it just lingers for the following week. It takes 3 to 4 days to recover, make that pain go away, just to train legs again on Monday and essentially just repeat the cycle. As far as bench press goes on that Tuesday, bench has always been my weakest lift out of the big 3, and I'm tired of failing bench presses. I need to increase the frequency. I'm just not doing it enough. So I'm like, something needs to change here. So I went from that 5-day split down to a 4-day split. And I started to take a little bit more just like a general lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body day or approach. And I started incorporating a rest day right in the middle of the workouts. So on day 1, Mondays, it will be lower body, but with an emphasis on squats and quads. So that will be my heavy squatting day, a lot of quad accessory work. Tuesday would just be a general upper body day. So think of it as push and pull. A lot of pressing, a lot of pulling. So think of the emphasis as chest and back. Wednesday, I would actually rest. No workout whatsoever, just mobility work. And then Thursday, lower body, but now I started doing my deadlifts on that day specifically. So now it's more of a deadlift and hamstring, so posterior chain emphasis day, and I feel so much better. Now I'm not going into my deadlift with my legs sore because I had that extra rest day. And then on Friday was my second upper body day, still hitting one type of pressing and one type of pulling movement, but everything else was now the accessories, the arms, biceps, triceps, shoulders, things like that. And I definitely felt a huge difference. Down the line, things started to change, and then I went back to a 5-day split, but I decided to do Mondays squat day with a quad emphasis, Tuesday push day, so chest, triceps, and delts. Wednesday I kept as a rest, Thursday back day or a pull day, but I included deadlifts on that back day. Friday, just a real light leg workout, just get some blood in, so a little bit more of a bodybuilding approach, whereas in the first couple of days were just more of like a powerlifting or strength-based approach. And then Saturday, upper body, again, hypertrophy standards, bodybuilding standards. So I say that was just one of the biggest things that have really helped me this past year, is just switching out the routines, not being so set in stone in the same workout program or in the same structure as I had been years prior. If I feel like I need the rest, okay, take the rest. If I feel like I'm not ready to work out that day, then don't work out that day. Push it off to the next day. Just constantly changing the workout programs basing off of what your body needs. Trust me, that has really been helping out. And that's a perfect segue into the second point, and some things that have really helped me out this year is just prioritizing that recovery. I've never really had moments or days where I say, I don't feel like working out today. But there were many times in the past where I felt like, I don't want to do what's written on the program. And it's specifically because I'm like, man, today I just don't feel like lifting heavy. My lower back is still sore. Man, today I don't feel like bench pressing real heavy. My shoulder's giving me problems. Or other days it will be a high rep set, like let's just say a top set of 8 on squats. It's like, man, today I don't feel like doing all that high reps. Like I'd rather go. I just wasn't mentally there, and I just feel like I'm just drained. It's not like I didn't want to work out. I still enjoy it. It's just more like, do I have to do that today? Can I do this instead? This past year, I didn't really have many of those, and I think it's because of the way I changed those workout structures, the weekly splits, to incorporate those breaks in the middle of the week instead of just pushing hard Monday through Friday, 5 days in a row, and then only having Saturday and Sunday to rest. No, now there's a rest day right in between when it's needed. That has really helped me out. Not just that type of recovery, but also splitting up my workouts into 2 different ones per day. So I know it might be ironic. We're talking about recovery, but now I'm talking about working out twice per day instead of just once per day. But that second workout that I do in the evening is my cardio. I like to think of it as active recovery. So this past year, I did a lot of walking, going out on just a nice, easy walk, a nice, easy hike, going on the treadmill, slight incline, 30 minutes to an hour, just getting the blood flow in there and just washing out all that lactate, all that soreness that's built up in the legs especially. That has really been helping me out recover a lot quicker. And then after that, full body stretching. I will admit, I still struggle a bit with stretching and mobility work. I don't do it as consistently as I should, but I'm trying to be better at it. And when I am consistent with it, I do definitely feel a lot more. So again, prioritize the recovery. It's not just go at the gym. No, you got to take the time to rest. You got to take the time to recover. On top of that, also sleep. I've been trying to improve the quality of my sleep, and it's little things like I bought blackout curtains for my rooms to make the room as dark as possible. That has really been helping out. I bought this little thing that covers like the bottom edge of my door so that I don't see any light from the hallway coming in. That's really been helping out. Staying off my phone or staying off of any device 1 hour before, 1 hour minimum before I actually go to bed, so I don't have to be exposing myself to blue light. Journaling and reading right before I go to sleep. Usually I would do that more towards like 2 or 3 hours before I go to bed. Now I'm doing it immediately after, just to calm the mind down. Not relying on melatonin. There was a time when I was drinking a lot of energy drinks and I was eating a melatonin gummy every night. It's kind of like you're using the caffeine from the energy drinks to bring your heart rate really high, and then you're using the melatonin to bring it back down. It's just too much back and forth. I cut all that out. I haven't cut out energy drinks completely, but I definitely minimized it a lot more compared to how much I was drinking before. Now I'm trying to get all my caffeine through as much natural source as possible. Honestly, it's just like black coffee. That's pretty much it. I still have an energy drink here and there, but I'm really trying to do a better job of just not buying cases at Costco anymore. Melatonin gummies, completely stopped those. Now I'm trying to prioritize the quality of my sleep and just natural ways to improve the quality of it, like the ones I just listed right now. Regulating my wake up and my bedtime, waking up at the same time every day, going to sleep at the same time. All these things have really been helping out. Again, recovery is a big thing, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I've been seeing so much progress this past year. Not just in my physique. I definitely feel like I'm a lot bigger than I was, even though my body weight is still the same. I haven't gained that much weight. It's just the look of it. I've gained the weight in muscle, but I've lost the weight in body fat, so overall body composition is coming together. The numbers in the gym, been going a lot heavier on the barbells and all the weights. Everything, just strength is improving. I feel like a lot of it is attributed to just finally prioritizing recovery. Because what most people don't know is we don't actually get stronger in the gym when we work out. No, all we're doing in that moment is we're kickstarting the process to build strength. And all that strength and that muscle is being built when we recover. And the biggest time that we recover, when we sleep at night. And lastly, diet. I already said from the very beginning, I'm a hard gainer. I do not gain weight that fast. I struggle. I could easily lean out and get to less than 10% body fat with ease. Give me 2 weeks, I'll get there. Hell, give me 1 week and I'll get there. But gaining the weight, that's definitely been a big challenge. And obviously, it's really easy to gain weight when you're just dirty bulking. If I were to just eat a lot of processed food, a lot of fried foods, a lot of sugary drinks, high calorie, just junk food, obviously everyone's going to gain weight. I'm not trying to do that. I still want to protect my health. I don't want to clog my arteries. I'm trying to build muscle, not clog my arteries. I'm still trying to live for years on end. I don't want to be landed in a hospital for being morbidly obese or dying of a heart attack in my 40s just from eating so unhealthy. I'm trying to go about it in the clean way. And a lot of the ways that I was eating before was super healthy, which it should be, but the meat sources specifically, I was doing a lot of chicken breasts, which there's nothing bad with that. If you want to go ahead and eat those, they're super cheap, different ways for you to prep them. By all means, go for it. But this year, I made a big change where, as in back then, years prior, a lot of chicken. This year, a lot of red meat, specifically steaks and ground beef. Fatty steaks, specifically. I'm talking about a lot of New York strips. I'm talking about a lot of ribeyes. the extra fat and the extra calories have really been helping me out. A lot of whole eggs. I think this year is the most eggs I've eaten in a long time. And it's not just that. I've also been eating just the normal carb sources, the healthy carb sources, eating a lot of good bread, a lot of rice. I'm not really a big fan of pasta, but I did throw them in here and there throughout the year. Vegetables definitely struggled a bit, as I always do, but at least I'm conscious of it and I know I need to do better. But I definitely ate a lot of fruits as well this year. Those micronutrients really helped out. Those berries, kiwis, bananas I'm always consistent with. That's always been from the very beginning. But other things like mangoes, oranges, strawberries, all these little micronutrients that you get through fruits and vegetables, I definitely felt the difference. A lot of people think it's only about the macros, the proteins, the carbs, the fats. No, it's also about the micros, those vitamins and minerals that you get through fruits and vegetables. That's what you need as well. A lot of the high calorie foods, especially if you're a skinny boy like me, especially if you're a hard gainer like me, and you need those calories. We're eating super lean meats because we don't want to add all that extra fat. What fat do we have in the first place? We need the extra calories, and I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more energized. I'm pushing harder in the gym. I'm lifting heavier when I work out. So maybe that's something you want to look into. Not just eating a bunch of egg whites, but eating whole eggs. Not just eating a bunch of chicken breasts, but maybe some steak with some fat in it. Not just only eating meat and potatoes, but actually throwing in some leaves in there, some colorful things like berries. All these little things have really been helping me out, and I feel good. Water intake has always been there. Electrolytes, that's a big one that also has been changed for me this past year. I've been drinking a lot of electrolytes in my water, and I feel hydrated. Salting my food. A lot of people shy away from salt, but you got to understand, you need salt to stay properly hydrated. You need that iodine in your body. That has definitely been helping me out as well. Just look into the micros. It's the little things that really do add up and make the biggest difference. There you have it, everyone. Don't make the same mistakes that I did this past year. Don't be so caught up in your ways and only stick to one program, one weekly split. No, adjust it as needed. If you need extra rest days, take extra rest days. If you could take on an extra day or extra volume during your workouts, then add them in there. But don't feel like once you stick with one routine, you have to abide by it at all times. No, constantly switch it up based on what your body's needs are. Second, recovery is king. You're only going to be able to push yourself as hard in the gym as much as you're able to recover outside of the gym. You're only going to be able to build as much muscle as your body allows you to via recovery. If you're going in and mentally you're not there, physically you feel beat, then how are you supposed to push yourself in the gym? It just makes no sense. Prioritize the recovery, especially via sleep. And lastly, diet. Do the research out there. Don't just do the typical bodybuilding chicken and rice diet. There's other food sources out there that are clean. Don't let all this pseudoscience try to manipulate you. Don't let all the social media say, oh no, red meat is bad for you. No, don't eat eggs. The cholesterol is too much. No. Steak, eggs, fruits, vegetables, a lot of water, salt in your foods in the right amounts. All these things, they have their benefits. You just got to go ahead and do your research and figure out what is it that you need and in the quantities that you need based on whatever your goals are. Constantly switch up the diet. Food is necessary. Look up the healthy options and fuel your body. If you're going to be putting that much effort into the gym, you got to make sure you're feeding your body the calories that it needs to actually allow you to do so. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Again, comment down below, what are some of the biggest game changers that you made this past year? What are some things that have really worked for you, and what are some things that maybe people should shy away from, that maybe it didn't help you and you know it's going to harm them? Comment down below. Let's try to help each other out. Also, comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And then Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I'll put all my links down in the description below. That being said, I'll catch y'all next time.